This is the ASL 1, Unit 5, Vocabulary. This is school-related, pretty much. Some of this we've already covered this year, and some of it's new. So, accident, as in a car accident. These three hand shapes are classifier 3, we call it. Classifiers represent objects or people, and we use it to show location and movement. So, accident. Activity center. The agent marker, I call this the person ending. So teacher, student, okay. Alarm or bell, algebra, America, area or location, around, if you're talking about time, so around 2 o'clock. Arrive as in a person, to get to a place. But if you're talking about a plane, the plane arrives. Art can also mean draw. Athlete is a sports person. Auto body, if you're talking about the class where you learn how to work on cars. Back, as in the back door, the back yard. Biology. Break, as in to literally break something. But this is different from, for example, Thanksgiving break, when you just take a break from something. Bus is a finger-spelled loan sign. It's just automatically a finger-spelled word, kind of like okay in ASL, they're finger-spelled. Busy, very similar to business, so be careful. Cafeteria, calculus, chemistry. And then some classifiers. The sign for classifier is CL. CL, I call this upside down V, represents a person standing or a two-legged animal. Could show a row of birds standing. CL1, this represents a person. Two people walking together would be this. Someone kind of wandering around would be this. CL3 represents vehicles, anything but an airplane pretty much. A boat, a car, a bus, that sort of thing. Class, coach or boss or dean of a college. Computer. Around here we sign computer, but I've also seen computer, and I've seen computer, and I've seen computer. I'm going to use computer. Every once in a while this one comes out too, so this one or this one is what we'll use in class. Cook, counselor, dance, depart, as in an airplane departs, drama. If you sign it a little bit bigger, it means to act, the action of acting. Economics, that's with an E hand shape. Money is a very similar sign with an E, it's economics. Education, similar to the sign teach. If we're talking about the field of education, though, we use an ED typically. Elementary school, engineering, English, fields, combination of grass, an area, a field. Finish, to be done with something. We also use this to mean and then. So, for example, school, I go to, finish, I go home. Flag, forget. Freshman, while we're at it, sophomore, junior, senior. Your pinky, that is a prep year that is offered at Gallaudet University. Gallaudet, there's the sign for it. It's a college for the deaf, the only liberal arts college for the deaf in the world. Washington, D.C. is where it's located. Front, as in the front door. Geography, also the sign for earth. Geometry. Government. Gym class, we're going to sign PE. Gym, as in the actual place. Those are closed X's or baby O's. Half hour, this shows the hand going around halfway on the clock. Hallway. Health, it's an H, top and then bottom. Your chest, your waist. History, I've seen some other signs, but this is the one that we're going to use. Hour, you can modify this by using a 2-hand shape, a 3-hand shape, 4-hand shape, 4 hours. Interpreter. An interpreter is someone who signs for a deaf person what is being said around them. Journalism can also mean printer or newspaper. Junior high school. Labs, finger spelled, or laboratory. Late. learn. Library, librarian, you'd add the agent marker to line up. Locker is what your book shows. I've seen locker, so I tend to use this one. To look at, or look at, or look at, and of course eye contact is important for that sign. To look for, to search for something, to look for something. Mainstreamed, and we'll talk more about what mainstreaming means in class. Major in, to minor in, also a field of study, a specialty. Manage, so a manager, you'd add the agent ending. Math, middle school. Midnight, you sign the number 12, midnight. Motorcycle. Neighborhood is signed like that. Noon. Nurse, with an N hand shape or an open N. Office. Oral education, we'll talk more about this later this year. Photography. Physics. Physiology, study of one's body. Pick on, to pick at something. Sometimes your sibling picks on you. Pool, finger spelled, lexical sign. Principal. Psychologist, psychology with the person ending. Remember. To ride a horse, horse. And then there you go, horseback riding. Room can also mean box, so classroom, but in the right context. You know, I need a box to mail something. Science. Secretary, or secretary, or secretary. I use secretary. Senior, we talked about that. Serve, as in to serve someone, as in a food context. A waiter would be signed like that. Snack machine, food machine. Sociology. Soda machine. Speech, if you're talking about words coming out of your mouth, but if you're talking about debate class, speech class, it's that sign. Stadium or auditorium shows all the rows of seats and people sitting in them. To start or begin. Store. Student. Student center, also the sign middle, the same sign. To take something from someone, it's directional, so to take from me, I take from you. To take off, as in to quickly go somewhere else. When school is finished, I'm going to head home. Teach. Teacher's assistant. Technology center, we have one of those. Theater, similar to the sign for act and drama. Think. Time. Train. Trigonometry with T's. University. Vice president, VP. Wood shop, if we're talking about a class. Write, as in to write something. And yearbook. To be bad at something. To be bad at something. To be good at something. I'm going to show you two signs. To be good at something. And then this sign means to be skilled, so you can kind of use those interchangeably. School for the deaf, we've talked about this. Residential school, it's sometimes glossed as because students do live at the school during the week typically. What time is it? Again, you're signing time, you're tapping your wrist, and then eyebrows together, head forward for your WH question facial grammar. And then what year are you? And again, this is in the context of school. You'd have to have the context of school going on. And then what year are you? And that is your Unit 5 vocabulary.